In this week's video, we have a kart return from Narnia and smash into the side of me. We go too wide at Bathurst, which is really bizarre. And in race C, well, 4 cars go into turn 1 and only 2 come out. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2023, week 31. And we've got one of the hardest vehicles you could drive in Gran Turismo. Yes, it's the racing go-kart there. The racing kart shifter 125. It is very hard to drive, but hopefully with this video I can help you drive it a little bit better. What are we doing then here at Tsukuba, if you haven't already guessed? Well, we're racing 8 laps. It's a grid start with the false start check. Just hold the handbrake, which I don't even know whether karts have handbrakes, but hey, we can use it in Gran Turismo. Sports soft tyres and times 1 fuel and tyre wear. So you can pick one of the ready-made karts, or I think you can go and use one of your own as well, because I was looking for my TCR Livage one and I can't find it, but it definitely was there in the garage selection somewhere, and you definitely can pick a kart. If you're not going to enjoy this race, I know a lot of you do not like the karts, there are some timestamps there for you. So you just look at those, skip that part of the video and enjoy race B or race C. Otherwise, if you're not wanting to go anywhere, let's have a look at this race, because this one's an interesting one and I'll give you a lap guide at the very end. Right, let's get ready to start then. Here you can see everybody in their shifters as we get ready then. So hold that handbrake, the magical handbrake in the go-kart, as we get ready. Now you can try and prep for the start, or you can just wait for the lights to go out. I try and prep for the start, which I feel miraculously, spectacularly, however you want to say it there, as we start. And I did smile because it was kind of funny, really. We're going to head towards turn 1 though, and in we go. And I'm on cockpit view here, so this is one tip I would highly give you, is to actually make sure the steering wheel is on your screen. It will help you in terms of this go-kart. It doesn't mean you lose a rear view mirror, which is really annoying, but it is what it is, and it will help you with this go-kart. Otherwise the bumper cam can be a bit sketchy. We just got hit from behind, which actually pushed us a little bit into the driver on the right there, which was Hodgson. Apologies there, Hodgson, but I just got a slight bump from the rear and I couldn't do anything about it. Through we go and in towards the left, and what we're going to do is focus ahead here, because we're going to see somebody venture to Narnia there, come back on circuit. We go down the inside. I'm pretty sure they don't see me there, and we get a colossal crash. That was like really loud in terms of a crashing noise as well. But we'll leave that hairpin there. Still surviving, fortunately, here. And we've got a lot of cars behind us, if you can look at that rear view. Not rear view, the radar, sorry. As we go along the outside of that car behind me. Someone's gone off behind as well. Well, look at that in the bloopers. But we go through this right-hander then. Oh, a bit of oversteer, but we do catch it indeed as we continue on through. So we do go up into P8 in the end as we go into left. Oh, hello. That's a bit of oversteer. Oh, Trevisio's gone. Sorry to see that, Trevisio. Unfortunate there. We'll have a look at what happens to Trevisio later on. We go to lap 3 then, where we catch up for the battle for P5. As we look down the inside of kart number 6 then, as we go into the right hand. They're going to have to brake a little bit for this one, because they are on my outside. We're through here side by side. We're just ahead now as we continue on through there, looking down the inside here. This is where a rear view would be beneficial, but I will happily accept karts don't have rear view mirrors, okay? I do realise that as we go into the right-hander. We actually do a bit of a spar moment there as we go round the driver in the middle. And we continue on out there, 8P5 to actually get that job done round the outside then. In towards the hairpin we go, and we get the job done. P5, happy days indeed. Trevisio has made the move behind as well. Looking down me inside here, just being careful. Going to chuck it into the right-hander then and continue on through. Let's advance a bit further on then. We want more action in this race. We advance to lap number 5 then as we chuck it into this last corner. And through we go on our own at the moment. But going through here, we're going to see somebody who's returning from Narnia there. And we're going to go past them. Let's go into a lap guide then. As we head towards turn 1, on the left-hand side, you've got the start of that big soundproofing fence there, okay? You're actually braking on the first end there, which I've highlighted a bit further on. But you want to use this fence, okay? You have a brake just after that leaves your screen, or try and aim for that first fence as that ends and it goes a bit higher. They're your 2 markers for this corner. As we go into here, just be careful. Drop to 3rd gear. Don't go to 2nd gear, okay? 3rd gear is where you want to be here. If you're any lower than that, 2nd gear, you get a lot of wheel spin. Be careful on exit. As you go up in the revs, this is where the wheel spin happens in this kart. As you head towards the hairpin, then you're actually braking just before the end of the curb there on that right-hand side, okay? And again, you're going to brake down to 3rd gear. You can do 2nd gear, but again, you're going to get oversteered the second you hit the accelerator. So I would just recommend you staying in 3rd gear to really get used to the kart, really. As we drop to 3rd gear here, notice I'm staying in 3rd gear, and I can accelerate out, and it doesn't want to oversteer because I'm not in the top end of the revs. As you head towards this right-hander then, on the left-hand side, you've got the orange barrier that goes towards the white barrier there. Literally just turn in before that moment. You should be in 4th gear, and you should survive this corner. I think you actually do shift to 5th. I think I do it myself here. But you can just turn in and you should be able to go through the corner happily here. As we go into fifth, I do go into fifth there, and notice there's no real dramatics. We can go through there quite nicely. We're going to head towards the hairpin then, and on the left-hand side, what we're looking for is we've got that long piece of green there, the light green stuff, just, you know, splitting the grass and the tarmac. The end of that is your brake marker, and I'm going to use that to brake. I'm literally about to go on the brakes right now there. So just before that hits the edge of your screen, you're going to hit the brakes. Again, third gear for this corner, okay? Third gear is key in this kart. Anything lower than that, you start to get issues with oversteer. It's a cambered corner as well, so make sure you're on the inside as we accelerate out of there and we head towards the final corner. We're going to see a big battle up ahead maybe there. You can see them going at each other here. But as we head towards this last corner then, on the right side, you've got the pit sign there, okay? Now for this corner, do not brake. Just slightly lift. You may want to go to fifth gear. I stay in sixth. Basically for stability, because fifth gear will be top end of the revs and that will force some oversteer. So it's up to you what you choose there, fifth or sixth gear. But that is your turning marker there. Notice I lift here. I'm just going to accelerate through the corner in sixth gear. Very stable indeed as we go towards that exit. And what we're going to do, we're actually going to advance towards the end there and finish the race where we come home in P4. They're not quite getting into the podium, but Chicken Angel did a part of TCR, so shout out to you. Well played indeed. And the lap guide there are part of the race. That's it for race A. Let's head to race B then, where we're in group 3, if you can't already tell, and we're at Bathurst. So yes, I chose the Corvette because if you've been watching the car profiles, you know the Corvette is very good at Bathurst. What are we doing here? Well, we're racing 5 laps. It's a rolling start, and we're on the racing hard tyres. Now, brake balance is allowed, and I've put that down at the bottom there. It's BOP with brake balance allowed. Racing hard tyres does mean it's a little bit slippy. We did see someone go to Nani there in the background, but Corvette, change brake balance. Off you go. Let's jump to race then. Let's have a look what happens. So here we are ready at the start. So a lot of people picked a lot of different cars here. Shelty, I did spot it. You've definitely been watching the car profiles. Went with the Corvette. If you're not subscribed already, please do subscribe to the channel. We do produce all sorts of content on here, not just the weekly race guides. We have the car profiles. We do beat the meta. We do all sorts on here as we head towards Turn 1. And we will be doing some vlogging from the Amsterdam finals that are happening in August. For the Gran Turismo Live Finals. Right, we've got a run on this Peugeot Vintage Gran Turismo car. A car I absolutely hate, but I still have to do beat the meta with at some point. It was the meta last week, wasn't it? In race B. However, we're heading up towards this right-hander. Look at the speed it's got there. I know it's not going to be that good on the corners here at Bathurst. As we go through here, we're just stuck behind Tommy, who just clips the curb there. Unfortunately, just capturing that rear end just forces me out into the barrier a little bit here. AFG behind, looking for a way to go. I'm just on the inside here. Tommy does give me room here, and I just get along the inside, and I just get the job done then. Thankfully, I get past that car very quickly because that would have slowed me down massively, I feel. And indeed it does, because look, we're already 2 seconds ahead on the same lap. We do catch up to Collider here in the Mazda RX Vision car as we head towards the chase then, as we go into this right-hander and in towards the braking zone. I'm going to absolutely send it down the inside. Do we get it stopped? That is the question. Oh, we do indeed. We give room on the exit. The Z4 there going rally crossing as that comes back on circuit, and we get another place as well. 2 for 1. There we go. That's how you do it. So we catch up to the old banger. Actually, in an old banger, the McLaren 650S GT3 car. It's a very old car. Come on, GT, PD. Come on, give us the 720S. We would all love it. Or the 720S Evo, in fact. There's 2 generations behind now as we go into the right-hander. Old banger keeping that position for now in that McLaren. Going to be one of the more stable MR cars here at Bathurst as we head up the mountain once again then, and we're just going to slow it down here. You can't really overtake on the mountain, okay? I've said this plenty of times on this channel. The mountain is very difficult to overtake on just because of how thin it is. GT3 cars are very wide cars, okay? As we go up here then, you see a bit of a clash of the barrier there. Somebody up ahead does hit the barrier. That's Shelty. So Hodgson goes down the inside. There's a bit of a clash there between those two. Nothing major, just a small little contact then as we head to Skyline, and through we go as we go into left. A lot of people hitting the barriers there. Shelty does, Hodgson does. We're going to go around the outside. We've got somebody else spinning it there as we head down here then into the braking zone with side by side with Hodgson. We all survived this unbelievably. I don't know how we did that, but as we go into this left-hander though, MR cars suffer there greatly. And we'll retake that position up into P6. Then we go. We catch up to Old Banger then to start lap number 3. I was thinking about going for it here, but I saw on the previous lap how fast the Corvette is versus the McLaren. And we did see this in the car profile as well. Again, make sure you check out the car profiles. They are very beneficial for you. You can understand the cars, the powers, the strengths, the weaknesses. And Bathurst is one of the car profile tracks as well. As we see here, we're going straight past that McLaren 650S. And we're going to be up into P5 then, heading in towards the mountain and up there, which means we're not going to get held up either. We can actually put foot to the floor, pedal to the metal as we head, well, we look towards the end of lap 3 now, and we've caught up to a Ferrari. A very, very dangerous, risky, and brave choice there by Red up ahead. We've got Supra, who went a bit deep there into the last corner there, but Stella, as they head towards turn 1, they're going to be side by side here. Potential of benefiting from this as we go through here. The Supra just understeers a little bit, forces Red onto the outside curb then. We overtake the Ferrari. Let's see the Corvette versus the Supra then in a straight line. Here we go. You short shift this Corvette, remember that, as we go towards that right-hand side. Look at the power difference here. This is huge, and heading towards right-hander, we're easily alongside the Supra, and Supra benefits in 5th gear. We get there, it goes equal, but we're already ahead at this moment in time. We get up into P3. Happy days indeed as we advance towards the last lap then. Let's give you a bit of a lap guide here. As you head towards turn 1, you can either use just after the 100 board on the right-hand side, or what I prefer using is the edge of the building on the left. As that gets towards the edge of your screen, okay, hit the brakes. Of course, you've got the photographer in the race that you can use there. I've not highlighted them here, but use the edge of the building. Honestly, it's a really nice marker you can use there, and you can use it in any game as well, not just Gran Turismo. Be careful of exit, of course, because power oversteer, a very common problem at Bathurst on that particular corner. We head towards this right-hander then, and on the left-hand side, you've got that piece of tarmac that heads left. Now, you might want to use the start of this or the end of it, whatever you may want to use. You're going to be saying, why aren't you using the 100 board, Tidge? I always use this piece of tarmac because when you're on the softer compounder tyre, you're braking much further into this. And depending on the car, depending on how late you brake. Now, you want to keep a very tight line here. Don't touch the curb, but keep it as tight as possible to that curb as you go through that corner. Touching the curb will force oversteer like we saw with the Peugeot versus Gran Turismo car. Up into the left, you're going to be slowing the car down a little bit with a little lift. And as that white line goes straight there, you can see that. That's what I've highlighted there for you. You're going to hit the brake pedal, okay? You're going to want to brake in a straight line, which is why you want to be more in the middle of the circuit. The further to the right you go, the later you'll be braking, and the more on the dirty side you'll go. You want to bring it tight here, okay? Tight as possible. Exit, be careful, power oversteer. There, it will happen a lot. As you head up the mountain then, we have a tree on the right-hand side. So on that right side, that tree there, that's your turn-in marker, okay? Now, you might want to turn in and lift a little bit later in the corner. You might want to lift and then turn. Depends on how you drive the car and what car you are driving, okay? So I like to turn in and then start to lift a little bit when I feel there's a bit of understeer. As you see there, a little bit. I click the curb, I continue on through. Just make sure you don't hit the barrier like we saw earlier on. Down we go here. It's a slight lift through here. You click the curb, you lift a little bit more, head over towards that right-hand side, and what you're looking for here is the start of the curb there. Now, in cars, in general, in Group 3, the front end lifts a lot when you're accelerating. So you come off the throttle before you hit the crest of the hill so that the front is flat as you go over it and you can turn in better. If you're accelerating on the crest of the hill, you're going to understeer completely off, okay? Be very careful of that. It's more significant in MR cars, but FR cars suffer too. As you head down the hill then, we've got 3 markers here. So the Audi R8 is a marker that you go, okay, I need to brake before that. The building on the right, as it hits the edge of your screen, is a brake marker. And the small square at the bottom there, that's what you're aiming for, okay? You're braking in a straight line towards that. So you aim your car at that, then you hit the brakes. And then you turn, then you hard brakes. You turn, and then you hard brakes again. Don't 100% brake and try and turn. You'll cause a crash. Now, as you go through this right-hander, you're sort of trying to slow the car down as much as possible. So I just roll the car a little bit. And the end of the curb on the right-hand side, that's your turn-in marker for this left-hander. Even more so on racing hard tyres because it starts to understeer very quickly. Now, MR cars are going to suffer greatly on this corner. It's very hard to do in MR cars, but as you see in the Corvette, very easy to do. It's why I would recommend picking the Chevrolet Corvette. As you continue down this mountain then, on the right side, black to white there in terms of the barrier color change there. That is your initial brake marker here. You're looking to slow the car down by 20 miles an hour, something like that, to slow the car down and settle you for a nice line on the left-hander, okay? So I'm braking there, and then as I go down here, straight line brake, before I hit the crest of the hill, allows the nose to dip down very nicely. Be careful on exit of power oversteer, hitting the barrier, of course. We're just going to fast forward now towards the next corner. What you're going to look for is on the left-hand side. It's my favorite marker of them all, or one of them, of course. One you know me for as well. The V in sign event, or signivant, as I used to say. You can use a 150 board, of course, but the V won't get wiped out. The 150 may get wiped out in the race. So use the V there, okay? Hit your brakes on the V, or just before it, depending on the car, of course, and then go through the corner. Be careful of power. Obviously, here, exactly this point here, it can happen a lot in a lot of cars, because you're hitting the top end of that 3rd gear. As you head towards this last corner, and on the right side, you have a big old tree there on the right-hand side. That's your brake marker as it hits the edge of your screen in the Corvette. Obviously, depending on the car, depends on whether it's just as it hits the edge of your screen, just after it hits the edge of your screen, or just before it does. that is your choice. It's a marker. I give you the marker. You use that marker to your advantage. That's the whole point of these lap guides. Going into the left then. Be careful on exit, of course, from oversteer. We're going to accelerate towards the line then. And that's a P3. And once again, we've got 2 TCR members there in the podium. We've got Karma D Gaming and myself. So why am I laughing there in that webcam? It's because I was going for Max Power's fastest lap. And I didn't quite get it there. Max Power just beat me to it. But well played, Max Power. Always fun racing with you. And congratulations on winning the race. Race C then, here we are at Trial Mountain, and we're in Group 4. Specifically, I'm in a Ferrari there. They're my go-to car choice in Group 4, but I have no idea what the meta is, because the Ferrari is always going to be good. We're doing 10 laps here at Trial Mountain. It's a rolling start, and we're on the racing medium tyres, ×2 fuel and ×3 tyre wear, and you're allowed to change the brake balance. But this race, you are not pitting. It's a flat-out race from start to finish, so you need to think about tyre wear in this. Pick a car that is good on tyre wear. The Ferrari is good in general, why I went with it. Let's jump to that race right about now. Right, let's kick off this race, and Chelsea chose the Scirocco, which was very brave, I must say, because I did realise the tyre wear there. As we set off in this race, and most people, apart from the last place person, will have a fine start there. If you're not subscribed already, please do subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content as we head towards turn 1. Then we've got Womble up ahead in a Jaguar. Womble does a bit of YouTube, you can check him out. So does Key as well up ahead of Womble as we go through this left-hander. Now, we're going to look down the inside of the Jaguar. And we've got a Bugatti Veyron there of Key. That was a brave choice, if I do say so myself. I did think about the Bugatti, but I'm like, tyre wear. Tyre wear will be significant towards the end of this race, and I will say that right now as we head in towards the right-hander then and go into there. Muscaffi, it just hits the barrier there, or the invisible barrier, and we go around the outside of Key, up a place then, up into P12 as we go into this right-hander. Through we go and head towards the tunnel. I'm not sure why everybody chose the Ferrari. I did do a few laps before this race on the time trial just to set a lap there, so I'm not sure whether I was in rank 1 or whatever, and people go, Ferrari is the right way to go. But the Ferrari is always a good choice in Group 4 in terms of literally it's an overall good performer in the grand scheme of it. Not always the meta, actually very rarely the meta, but always like a top 5 choice. Muscaffi then continues on past me there in the slipstream, so I'm sort of looking down the inside, hoping to scare them a little bit then in towards the braking zone, and they do go a bit deep here. So second gear, through the left we go, trying to get it turned in as quick as we can. We're still alongside Muscaffi, doing a 7 days challenge maybe, I don't know, as we go into the right-hander, and Muscaffi still keeping that position for now as we head into the braking zone. I'm assuming Muscaffi does YouTube as well by the looks of that rear of the car, so you can check out Muscaffi as well. Gonna head down towards the left-hander then. Down the inside I go. I did send it a little bit here. I was on the inside. Muscaffi just saw me there. We gave each other room. Continue on racing out of there. Beautiful racing, I do say so myself, with Muscaffi as we head towards the chicane. And the deadly chicane, I would say. You're going to see some right sense down here as we go through the week. So keep it tight left, and then going to send it through the right-hander. We've all been caught up behind. I think it's Collider in the Viper. As you see, we've got Viper, Ferrari, Ferrari, Ferrari. Well, the Viper's about to get absolutely destroyed here. Well, we will see, actually. We will see. So, Jingle Mania goes down the inside. Muscaffi gives him a bump draft. I see what's happening here, so I completely back out of this. I can see what's coming here. So, I back out of it. There's contact between Collider and Tingle Mania. They both go off. Unfortunately, Tingle Mania goes back on. I get the scare of my life with the ghosting. Thankfully, it worked there. So we gain 2 positions, and we're still in a fight with Muscaffi then as we head in towards the left-hander. Then we do outbrake them into here. Just give them just enough room on that inside line. Look at this. Beautiful racing once again as we head towards the right, in towards the braking zone. We go. We should have this done now. There we go. Inside line. Happy days. Job done. 3 positions already in that lap. So, lap 3, we catch up to this next battle then. We've got a Honda NSX, which we know is a good car actually in Group 4. The McLaren 650S, also a good car. So, some good, interesting choices being made here. As we head towards the chicane, then the NSX backs out of it. Lets me go then, as we go into the left. Again, keeping a tight line on that left to give a good run for this long, long straight as we continue on out of there then. We've got Joanki up ahead in that McLaren. Let's see the speed difference here between the McLaren and the Ferrari. In fact, look at the Ferrari go here. We're flying. Look at this. We also get the fastest lap there. We are definitely flying then. 59.5, including all the action, which is awesome stuff. We head towards this left-hander, and the McLaren keeps it there. Now, I would debate whether you probably should have backed out of that. As you saw in the previous lap as well, a slight bit of contact there. We're trying to give each other room. We all still survive this. But it's beautiful racing in the end, but it's one of those where I would have sacrificed the position there if I wasn't the lead car. A bit like earlier on where I backed out of it because I know what's coming up. Side by side through there is very dangerous. But we made it work. We catch up to Jamie Webber, part of TCR. Huge shout out to you, TCR Jamie, here as we go down the inside of them for P6. As we go into the braking zone, we do get it stopped. But yeah, turn 1 is one of those corners I'd advise backing out of it if you're not the lead car, because they're more than likely it'll result in a crash. It really will. But we survived it. So well played to Juanqui earlier on. That was really good racing with you, Spanish driver. As we go through the left, then we caught up to MG Flash then in that Shaw Ferrari. We see that livery quite often racing MG Flash. We send it down the inside here, get it stopped on that apex, and up into P5 we go then, as we then advance further on, and we're racing Old Banger once again, this time in a Ferrari, not the McLaren. Do you remember when I do these races though, I do them back to front. I start off with C and I finish with A, not the other way around. So this was actually my first race with Old Banger. As we continue on through there, notice they took a tight line for that right, where I took a wider line. Look at the run I get off here. Now, yes, I do have slipstream as well, but it's such a better run anyway. I can just go ease on by. Now, actually, Old Banger's going to give this up, but a bit too much, I would say. And I put my hands up there to say thank you sort of thing, and that's how you do it for that corner, because that's what I would do in my opinion as well. We advance to lap 10 there, where we do catch up to Carmody Gaming. We have a TCR 1, 2, 3, and 4 right now. Oh, yes, we do indeed. As we continue on through there, Karma just hits the barrier in that Silvia, having, well, representing the Volvo livery there. But we go on through, just that tyre wear coming into play. I think you can see my front right-hand tyre. And this is an MR car. I did hear the horn, Karma. That's why I'm putting my finger up there. I did hear the horn. You know the rule there. But we advance towards the end. A round of applause there. TCR 1, 2, 3, 4. TCR Hodgson, Shelty, myself, and Karma D. Well played indeed. Jammy's in there as well, so a shout out to you. Brilliant racing there throughout the field. I did enjoy that. I really did. Got to a lap guide then, so I'm not sure whether this was why people picked the Ferrari. Head towards turn 1 on the left-hand side. You have a tent there on that left-hand side, okay. That is your either lift marker, if you don't want to brake, or you'll slightly dab the brake marker. It's your choice what you do here. It's how you can settle the car going through these lines, because it's a very difficult set of corners to get right, and they all impact each other. So you want to cut this as much as possible. You do get track limits there. Cut this even more than you realise. It gives you a really nice line for this left-hander. The more to the right you go, the flatter you can do this, and you can actually do it flat like I did there. Head towards the tunnel end. You're braking before the tunnel, okay? Before the tunnel entrance. I've highlighted that because that is your last of the late brakers marker, okay? But you're braking before that. You can see I'm on the brakes right now. Now, you actually want to take a tighter line than you realise. It's quite easy to take an outside line and come in, but you actually want to take a tighter line. And even this is a bit too wide. You want to keep it tight and accelerate through the corner, and that's why I lose 1/10 of a second there on my previous laps. So heading towards the right-hander then, yes, you've got the yellow sign, which is highlighted, but actually that big old boulder there on the left is actually your brake marker, okay? Just as that leaves the edge of your screen in the Ferrari is when you're going to brake. Obviously, other cars may vary because, believe it or not, other cars vary. So we're going to head into here then on the brakes, turn it in. I'm actually using plus 55, plus 5 brake balance there, if you're wondering. Head over towards the left-hand side then and keep it as far left as possible. So just before the end of this curb, you're going to start braking and head towards this right-hander. If you can get a little bit of oversteer here, it's worthwhile because you really want to get it tight in and really tight then on the right-hand side for the long left before the straight, because that is the critical corner here, not this one. So slow it down a little bit here. Get over towards that right side as quick as you can, as humanly possible, and right as that leaves the edge of your screen there. So as you enter the tunnel is when you're going to brake and turn in. The tighter you can do this corner, as and follow it through with this corner, the quicker your lap will be. This corner is one of the most crucial in this lap. So as that leaves the edge of your screen on the right side, turn in. Keep it as tight as possible. Accelerate as early as possible here. It will grip very nicely. And notice that we're still losing time because I actually did it even better on a previous lap. I really did. Going to advance towards the end of the straight then. I'm looking on the right hand side for that yellow sign there. It's highlighted lovely with the lights, of course. So that is your brake marker, okay, for this one. You might want to brake just before this, to be honest with you. You can brake at it and you'll be fine. It'll take a wider line in and then you'll come back very nicely towards the exit of the corner. I like to brake a bit earlier than it, just because I'll fancy a tighter line, but you can see that here. Now, that's the big stone on the left-hand side there is your accelerating marker. Use that as your accelerating marker as we continue on up the hill, okay? That big stone is lovely. Now, into the straight line braking, okay? So the tree log on the left-hand side, that is your brake marker. You're going to brake in a straight line now. So you can't see the corner, but you're going to brake in a straight line. If you continue to go left, you're going to go a little bit wide for this corner, and you don't want that. So straight line the braking here, using that tree trunk to start braking. You can see I've started that now, and there we go. Notice I went a bit left there, so I missed the curb a little bit. Straight line brake it. Honestly, it's how you do that corner. On the left-hand side, then, you've got the big stones there. The last of the stones is your brake marker for this left-hander. Make sure you're over to the right-hand side and use all the curb on the inside. You really want to follow through on this corner, okay? It's a really nice corner to just accelerate through and gain a bit of time there because it's a bit of an acceleration towards the final corner. And that's what I'm going to try and do here. So early on the throttle as best as I can and use as much as I can on the exit. I've gone on the grass there, which I shouldn't do really. It's cost me a bit of time, but notice how much speed I did try and carry. In towards the last corner then, on the left-hand side, you got banners on the barricades, and the odd one is just plain grey. The last of the plain greys there on the left-hand side, that is your brake mark. You see, I've just got on the brakes now, just before it hits the edge of your screen. Now, you want to overslow the car for the first part of this corner, okay? You want to give it a nice run for the straight. So get it tight, keep it as far left as possible, slight lift potentially through here, and then accelerate through. I think you could do that flat if you nail it right, but I was a bit scared about hitting the barrier, and I really wanted to get this lap to you. I'm actually going to get the lap time there by 1,000th of a second. So you can see there's another 2-3 tenths in that lap quite easy. There's easily 57s in there as well. Let's jump to these bloopers then. Let's have a look at what happens here. So slight tap on the cart there, sent them off in that Marlboro livery. I think that's a Schumacher livery. Don't get me... Oh, I mean, I could be wrong with that, but that in terms of the racing suit there, in terms of that livery. We're through here then. You see TCR all avoiding each other here. It's all TCR at the back at the moment here. So, we are there, and I just wanted to see what happened to behind me. Is this Karma D Gaming? As we head up here, they just go on the grass here. It pulls them off a little bit. They come back on very nicely indeed. Yeah, really well played. What happened to Treviso? Came in a bit hot there and just spun on the curb. And Treviso's going to spin it round there and carry on. So that's unfortunate for Treviso. And we did see somebody go off, didn't we, in the last corner? Oh, they're off before the last corner here. This is the French driver as they get back on there. I think this was Alex Jett was their PSN name. Going through the right-hander then. They're going to have dirt on their tyres, of course. And they're just going to get that understeer. The understeer, the famous understeer from dirty tyres, hit the barrier. And then, yeah, they're just going to give it up at this moment in time. So lots of action in the kart race. We know that. We watched it. So up to the Z4, that went rally crossing then. In towards the braking zone we go. They release the brakes. They go, oh, yeah. They just got it wrong there. They didn't get the rotation they wanted. And they do actually do a really clean entry. Look at this. This is superb sportsmanship. Brilliant return to track there. Superb. Shelter hit the barrier there. That's what caused this issue. It's heading down here. It hard to go side by side. Just a slight tap there as they go through here. As we continue on then towards the left-hander. Slight lift there. Perfectly executed. Oh, hello. Hodgson into the barrier. Shelter into the barrier. Oh, banger through. Then I'm through. We've got the Porsche who went off there as well. So, yeah, all sorts happening. And look at this. Look how me and Hodgson survived that. That was beautiful racing between us, if I do say so myself. What happened to that Porsche then? That's another interesting one. They clip the barrier. Oh, they head off as well. Just avoid doing that, please. Don't hit the barrier on the inside. It forces you off, as you see there. And the Porsche just goes round with the MR uncontrollability. Right, what else have we got in terms of bloopers? Well, this was this chicane incident then. Who's at fault? Because I know there was a bit of argument during the race here. So this is one where if I was Collider, I would have given that up, to be honest with you. Charge is in there. Unfortunately, Tingle Mania is there. They are allowed to brake, and then it's just a bit of crash thereafter. So it's one I probably would have given up if I was Collider, Tom. It's a bit unfortunate because you had two cars on your inside, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, folks, that is it for this week's race guide. If you did enjoy it, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content and help us on our journey to 40k. 2 videos to check out there, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream again very soon.